The last installation we're going to show today is our 8930 OXO sliding glass door. The 8930, 8940 are very similar, just a couple of different features to it, a lot of different configurations. We want to show the OXO door because we want to highlight the installation of a fixed panel and a sliding panel. So with that being said, we've already installed, just as we showed on the pocket door, the track, the main frame, the track inserts, and we're getting ready to start setting our panels.
What separates the 8930 from the 8900 series PVC door we have is the screen on an 8900 is external, and on the 8930 has an internal screen. For a solid application, it's a perfect door because your screen's inside and protected.
Now we've got everything installed according to the Florida Product Approval installation details with appropriate fasteners. Everything's plumb, level, and square, properly shimmed with structural shims. We've put in our track inserts to cover up the installation screws. We're now ready to start setting panels. On this door configuration, the first thing we're going to do is put in our fixed panel risers, which are just two pieces of aluminum that the fixed panels are going to set on top, because on the 8930, just like our 8900 series doors, they do not come with wheels on the fixed panels. So we're going to simply set those into the bottom of the track, hold it off just a little bit for water drainage in the corners, do it on both sides, and then we're going to set our O panels on each side. Okay, I want to note real quick, we're not going to fasten those off yet. We're just going to let them float in the door for the time being, and the last thing we're going to do is fasten the O panels at the end of the installation.
All right, again, with the 8930, you're going to install the top of the panel first, stand out about 6 inches from the edge of the jamb, and swinging the bottom end. Again, stand about 6 inches from the edge of the panel, inserting the top of the panel first. Beautiful.
All right, we've got our fixed panels set into the opening of the frame. We've moved inside of the house. The next step is to apply the interlock on the fixed panel that is going to catch the active panel of the door. So Russell's going to apply that. It just goes on, it's a piece of PVC that gets put in with a rubber mallet. Okay, just before we set the operating panel, we're going to set in our roller track. We're going to drop it into the track, hold it back just slightly from the jamb of the door down on this end to allow for water drainage. We've also got weeps punched into the roller to assist in water drainage. And then we're going to set our operating panel into the door. Okay, now we're ready to put in the operating panel. We're going to set it about 6 inches past the fixed panel that we just installed the interlock on, and then it'll lock right in, and we'll get ready to set our astragal. Now that we have the operating panel set, we're ready to put on our astragal. So we'll begin by inserting it into the track on the bottom, lined up with the panel. Line up the top, carefully slide it in, punch it on, screw it off. Okay, the next step is the handle installation. Again, we try to use, anytime we're driving a machine screw into any of their product, we like to use a hand screwdriver as opposed to a drill, so we don't strip out or over tighten. In order to get the lock properly adjusted after we've installed our keeper, we want to just take a measurement from the top of the roller track, from the spine on the roller track, to the very bottom of the throat inside the upper lock. This measures up just about 41 3/4. Then we're going to go over to this side at the keeper, take the same measurement from the top of the track to the top of the receiving side, and that's about 41 1/4 too. So if they match, they should line up and lock. If they're a little off, just make an adjustment with the keeper, which can go up and down, and try again. The next step is to secure our O panels into the jambs. This is really vital. The key to successful installation with this is to have everything set to what we've done so far. We've set all our panels, we've put our X panel in, we've put up the astragal, we've adjusted the keeper, and we've locked it. The door's now locked. Now we're ready to set the location of the O panels in the jamb. Russell's going to push on the end of the panel to get it good and snug. Now we know our location to fasten that. Then he's going to push on this side, make sure it's fully interlocked, and maybe pull back a little bit with just a little bit of play to allow for expansion and contraction and change of the seasons. And now we know our two locations to set our fixed panel clips. Oftentimes we get a lot of feedback in product services asking why they can't lock the door after they've set everything up. And the proper procedure is to put the fixed panel clips on last, not first. So if you go in this order, you'll have a successful install every time. Okay, the last step as far as our structural assembly and installation of the door is to apply the fixed panel clips. Russell's going to put the fixed panel clip into the jamb. We have everything installed in the door. All that's left now is the trimming process. First thing we're going to put on over those fixed panel clips is a fixed panel clip cover. And it's a 3-angled bracket that literally snaps onto both legs of the fixed panel clip. Okay, next and lastly, we're going to just finish off with our trim. We're going to put in our groove filler on the open tracks on the head. Again, this trim is obviously non-structural. It is just gives the door a nice finished look. There's our threshold that drops in. Drop the trim on that. Good to go. The final step to finishing off our 8930 OXO door is installing the interior screen. We're going to put it up in the head, drop it into track, make sure it rolls. We've applied our screen keeper, lined it up with the lock, locked the door, and we're done.